Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing your brain has been replaced by a single looping sound effect. No thoughts, no memories, just brr patapim. And the terrifying part, you wouldn't even notice. Because somewhere between Skibidi Toilet, Italian Brainrot, NPC livestreams, Ohio memes, and videos with subway surfers playing underneath a guy explaining quantum physics, the internet stopped trying to make sense. It started making brainrot. And somehow we love it. Welcome to the internet in 2026, where a crocodile with a nuclear warhead has more lore than most movie characters. A suspiciously muscular shark can become a global celebrity overnight, and saying 6-7 at the correct moment can apparently summon an entire civilization. But how did we get here? And more importantly, why can't we stop watching? Let's go back. At first, the internet was relatively normal. You had funny cat videos. You had rage comics. You had people yelling into webcams while playing Minecraft. Then came memes. Memes were simple. A picture, a caption, maybe somebody's face edited onto a vegetable. Beautiful, elegant, civilization was thriving. But then the internet evolved. Memes became faster, shorter, louder, and somehow more incomprehensible. The attention span of the average viewer started getting absolutely folded like a lawn chair. You could no longer just watch a video. The video had to attack you. Something happening on the top half. Minecraft parkour on the bottom. Subway surfers in the corner. A robotic voice reading the most unhinged story you have ever heard. And every 3 seconds, bam, zoom, sound effect, explosion, red circle, arrow, wait until the end. And you stayed. Because your brain had been hit with 17 dopamine flashbangs. This was the birth of modern brainrot. And then Skibidi Toilet entered the chat. A toilet with a human head, singing, fighting other toilets. At first everyone laughed. Then everyone made fun of the people watching it. Then everyone started watching it. Then there was lore. Actual lore. Factions, characters, wars, plot twists. People were analyzing Skibidi Toilet like it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guys, I think Titan Cameraman is about to get upgraded. Brother, it is a toilet. But somehow, we cared. And once the internet discovered that completely ridiculous concepts could become insanely popular, the floodgates opened. Suddenly, everything had lore. Everything had a name. Everything had a fanbase. And then Italy got involved. Now, if you have somehow escaped Italian brainrot, congratulations. Your brain is still under warranty. But for everyone else, you know, tralalero tralala, bombardiro crocodilo, brr patapim, tung saho. These weren't characters. They were psychological weapons. A shark with Nike shoes. A crocodile airplane. A tree creature that looks like it hasn't slept since 2007. A wooden creature carrying a baseball bat. And somehow, they were everywhere. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, memes, merch, fan art, entire videos explaining their family trees. The internet had created a mythology system out of pure nonsense. And then something even more dangerous happened. The brainrot started evolving. Because once people realized that one absurd character could go viral, they started combining them, and combining them, and combining them, until you got a sentence that sounded like it was generated by an AI that had been dropped down the stairs. Tralalero Tralala pulled up in Ohio with Bombardiro Crocodilo, while the Sigma Skibidi Giant Rizzler was mewing at 3 a.m. And the worst part, you understood it. That is when you knew it was over. Because brain rot isn't just random nonsense. It's a language. A language built specifically for people whose attention spans have been absolutely deep-fried. And the language keeps changing. One week, everybody is saying rizz. The next week, nobody remembers what rizz means. Then someone says aura. Then sigma. Then's mewing. Then phantom tax. Then suddenly everybody is saying 6-7. And nobody can explain why. Someone asks, what does 6-7 mean? And the answer is basically 6-7. That's it. No explanation. No context. Just vibes. And somehow that makes it funnier. But here's where things get genuinely weird. Brain rot doesn't just spread because it's funny. It spreads because it's incredibly easy to copy. You don't need a camera. You don't need acting skills. You don't need a complicated story. You just need one ridiculous idea. And a sound people recognize. That makes brain rot almost impossible to kill. Because every viewer can become a creator. Someone sees a meme. They remix it. Someone else remixes that remix. Someone adds an AI voice. Someone adds Minecraft parkour. Someone adds a subway. Someone adds a dancing skeleton. Someone adds an aggressive bass-boosted sound effect. And suddenly, the original meme has evolved into something completely unrecognizable. This is basically internet natural selection. The funniest memes survive. The boring ones disappear. And the most cursed ones reproduce at alarming speed. But there's another reason brain rot works. It's predictable. Your brain loves patterns. You hear the same sound enough times, and eventually you know what's coming. You see the character. You recognize the audio. You wait for the punchline. And then, brr patapim. Your brain gets the tiny reward it was waiting for. Again. 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 And before you know it, you've watched the same 12-second video 47 times. You aren't even laughing anymore. You're just there. Watching. Existing. Your soul has left the building. And this is where YouTube Shorts becomes especially dangerous. Because short-form content removes the natural stopping point. A 10-minute video ends. A movie ends. A TV episode ends. But Shorts, there is always another one. You finish a video. Swipe. Another. Swipe. Another. Swipe. Suddenly it's 2:47 a.m. Your phone is at 3%. Your eyes feel like two dried raisins. And you're watching a video about a talking refrigerator marrying a helicopter. You whisper, "One more." You are lying. There will be 73 more. And the algorithm knows it. The algorithm doesn't care if you watch the video because it was genuinely hilarious. It just knows. You didn't swipe away. That's enough. So the content gets louder, faster, more ridiculous, more stimulating. Because if a normal video gets your attention for 3 seconds, a brain rot video will try to get it for 3 milliseconds. And somehow, it works. But maybe that's the real genius of brain rot. It doesn't ask you to understand. It doesn't ask you to think. It just says, "Look at this stupid thing." And for a few seconds, you do. Maybe that's why brain rot became so massive. The real world is complicated. Bills, school, work, deadlines, politics, emails, responsibilities. Brain rot is a crocodile flying an airplane. No homework required. And maybe that is exactly what people need sometimes. A little nonsense. A little stupidity. A tiny escape from reality. But here's the terrifying question. What happens when the brain rot gets even worse? Because if today's memes are already this insane, what will memes look like 5 years from now? Will characters have AI-generated voices that perfectly imitate anyone? Will entire movies be generated from a single sentence? Will memes become interactive? Will you be able to enter the Brainrot universe yourself? Imagine putting on a headset and walking into a world where Bombardiro Crocodilo is your landlord. Tung 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 Saha is your accountant. And a giant Skibidi toilet is standing outside your house asking for rent. At that point, we are finished. Absolutely cooked. No aura. Negative 9,000 aura. But maybe that's the future. Maybe the internet isn't becoming less intelligent. Maybe it's just becoming more chaotic. Because every generation creates its own weird language. Every generation has its own jokes. Its own slang. Its own characters. And someday, kids will look back at our brain rot the same way we look back at old memes. They'll say, "Wait, people actually watched this." And someone will answer, "Yes, why?" And the only possible response will be, 6-7. Then the screen cuts to black. A loud bass-boosted sound plays. A Minecraft character jumps over a lava pit. The words "subscribe or your aura disappears" flash across the screen. And somewhere, deep inside the algorithm, another brainrot creature is being born. So if you ever find yourself at 3 a.m. watching a 14-second video of an Italian crocodile arguing with a toilet, don't worry. You're not alone. Millions of people are there with you. And they're all thinking the exact same thing. What am I even watching? Swipe. Okay, that was actually kind of funny. Swipe. Wait, what's this? Swipe. Bro. Swipe. Just one more. And that is how the brain rot wins.